Welcome to Life Point TV. I'm Pastor Dale Phillips, your host for Life Point, your path to real life. I want you to join me in a new study. We're going to begin in the 8th chapter of the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 8. This takes us into the Old Testament. And I want you to begin reading with me from beginning at verse 1. Deuteronomy chapter 8, find verse 1. All the commandments which I command thee this day. I want you to pay close attention. What day are we talking about? This day, watch this. This day shall you observe to do that ye may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers. This verse and the verses that follow are designated to give instruction to the people of God who have been traveling in the wilderness. And it is time for them to prepare to transition from the wilderness to the land of promise. And here we have instruction, what God requires of them in order for them to live, in order for them to fulfill destiny, in order for them to have life. God gives instruction. Let me remind us that God's objective for everyone that is watching this broadcast today, his objective is for you and I to have life. Jesus says in his earthly ministry, I am come that ye may have life and that you might have it more abundantly. God's not trying to take life away from us. His desire is to give us life. The first man that he created, Adam, he formed and shaped his physical anatomy, but he breathed breath into his body that came from the divine eternal spirit of God to give man life. And it says God breathed into man's nostrils and man became a what? Living soul. God has always had one objective, that man might have life. Here we have practical instruction for that's given to the people of God. And Life Point, this is our root cause. This is our foundation purpose, to give men and women practical instructions for what you must do to live. Here it says very clearly to observe. Watch this. To I command you this day to observe to do, that you shall observe to do, that ye may live. Here God gives instructions. What is required of us in order to live? Watch this. To observe and to do. The word observe means to be aware, to be conscious, to see, to have insight, to see what God requires, to do what God requires. So that tells us that God teaches, I want you to observe, to be aware, conscious of my commandments, not only to be aware of them, but to do them. So first point, we have to become aware that God's commandments are the law, is the law that we should live by. Or let me put it this way, God's commandments are the instructions that will give us life. So we live by God's commands, not because we are in fear of condemnation or damnation. We live by God's command because we need his word, his instruction to have life. I can only live by what God commands. Because of his commandments, I have life. I have to nail that point, because too many people have believed that the commandments, the synoptic document that or oral law that was given to Moses, referenced as the 10 Commandments, these were given allow God to have a justification to condemn mankind. That is not true. God gave the law to Moses, who then gave the law to the people so that the people would know how to live. You and I need to know how to live. And the word says, observe my commandments, see them, become aware of them, know that my commandments are here to give you life. And not just be aware or conscious, but we have to be committed to do, to obey, to live by the word that comes from God. I want you to stay with me as we continue in this teaching. But for now, this is Pastor Del Phillips signing off, encouraging you to stay on the path that leads to real life.